Hello and welcome to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, I have the BANU Defender, a crab with such amazing alien style. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, welcome back to another video, and I just want to take a moment to thank everybody that has, let me know that they hope I get better soon from my pneumonia. I really appreciate it. I'm definitely recovering, and my cough is slowly but surely going away. It just takes a little bit of time. Now, here in front of me, as I walk towards it, I do have the BANU Defender, which really does look like a crab. That is super surprised. As you can see right now, this thing looks shocked to see me. And it looks fantastic. I will say this ship has an amazing alien design, taking from multiple design languages of alien, species out there, and it looks fantastic. This probably has some of my favorite textures for a ship that I've seen for a long time, and that even counts the Talon. The Talon looks fantastic, but this ship is just on a whole nother level. I think this just beautiful. Can't wait to really get into that more. Starting off with this ship, it does have a starting price of $220 if you were to pledge for it. Now, if you were to go ahead and buy it in game, it does have a price of $6,237,000 UEC. So, not a terrible price, especially since it's a very capable fighter. It's considered a light fighter, which actually surprises me, but I definitely understand it. It's quite sizable and has room for, 2 people plus, multiple people that you can fit on the interior, but there are 2 pilot seats. Now, with this ship, it does have a dual cockpit, which I will show you here momentarily, which means that either seat can control the ship or control different systems, but not the same systems at the same time. It's a pretty cool setup. I think it's really awesome, and this ship just has a lot more that is going to be going for it someday, but as of right now, it's just where it's at. Starting off with the damage that this ship outputs currently stock, it is 1,420 DPS, and that comes with your 4 size 3 Singe Tachyon cannons, which are at the front, as you can see, and they have a very cool shooting effect, honestly. I think it looks awesome, and they sound great. And here in a little while in this video, I'm actually going to go and attack some bounties and see how they, do. Now in 3.23, is this ship brought back up to an amazing, fighting capability with its stock weapons? We're going to see. Outside of that, you do have 4 size 2 Ignite 2 missiles, which are right under that ramp when that ramp is closed. So you do have 4 missiles, which isn't terrible. And then past that, for defensive measures, you do have a 6,000 bubble shield. So 6,000 is definitely a lot better than a lot of the ships I've been reviewing lately, where it's usually about 3,000. So I do really like that. Is it as high as it could be given the price point of this ship? No, definitely not. But it's, a light fighter. It's meant to move pretty quick, even though the speed stats don't really line up with that. Not yet. But we'll get into that in here in just a moment. Outside of your 6,000 shield, you do have 13,600 ship HP, which again, that was super surprising. Usually, and I will say this is kind of the basis, usually when you go up in price, you go up in ship HP and, capability, right? That typically does happen, or you're just, going up in what type of, professions you can do. Obviously, this is just a light fighter with the, capability of landing at bunkers or doing deliveries because it does have an interior that you can enter and, put a box in. You can't carry any, sizable SCU containers, really. Well, at least there's no cargo grid for it, but it definitely is capable of doing a lot more than just fighting, which is really awesome. And it can go quite the distance too, because it has 2,888 quantum fuel, which is really surprising given the fact that it is a light fighter. I believe this ship is supposed to escort things like the BANU merchantmen as well as other ships and be something that really helps fend off pirates from a ship of the BANU merchantmen's size. But with that, this ship here, the top speed is quite slow for a ship that is supposed to be a fighter, sitting at 220 SCM with a 480 forward boost and a 250 backwards boost, and a top nav speed of 1,150, which was truly surprising. I just feel like fighters shouldn't be that low of speed, really. You know, they should be able to move. They're meant to fly and hit targets and move pretty quick, right? But you know, a nav speed probably, or not nav speed, but an SCM speed closer to 260 would have probably been a little bit more preferable. But you know, 220, I guess it could be worse. It's not great. It's definitely below average, I feel like. Now, outside of that, this ship has an extremely large EM rating, so you have to be careful about that. It is not stealth at all. So when you are in an area, people will be able to see you from 15 plus kilometers out. So always something to, you know, be wary of. Now, this ship has a very beautiful design language to it. I love all the gold plating, and you know, has a very bone structure on the inside. It looks like you're almost entering the rib cage of an animal. And it looks like a crab from the outside. So for all we know, this was ripped off an alien planet, killed, and then, you know, an interior was brought in with some doors and buttons. Oh, that's really harsh. Once you enter, though, this ship has no accessible component areas at this point. Currently, the only area that you'd think there'd be components is currently locked. You can't enter that, you know, open that door. These look like component areas as well, but again, can't open it on either side. Now, you do have a bed and rest area for each pilot, and, you know, that's great. Always nice to have that, so when you're on that long haul, you definitely have somewhere to sleep. And then you just have to store your snacks in the inventory, which if you press I, you do have access to your local inventory, which is great. Now, outside of that, you do have 2 gun racks, one here and one over here, which is awesome. Always nice to see a gun rack on both sides for the co-pilot and the pilot. Now, this would be your co-pilot seat or pilot seat, whichever way you want to fly it, because like I said, they are a dual cockpit design, so each seat can control this ship, which is really awesome. So far, this ship is pretty cool. I'm really loving it. It's already looking at a pretty high rating just based off your initial stats. So now I'm going to go ahead and get in the pilot seat and see how she sounds, see how she flies, and go ahead and take her out for a little bit of combat. Let's do that right now, and I'm going to switch over to sound on.
Launch complete. Landing gear up.
And as you can see, I wanted to have that moment just full sound, just so you can kind of see what it sounds like when you're getting to the pilot seat. You know, you bring up your landing gear and you turn on the engines. It sounds really awesome. Now, let's go ahead and jump over to an area and try out the combat on this ship. So far, she seems pretty maneuverable for such a big ship. Love it. Now let's go fight. All right, now that we're getting up to the area of operation here, let's go ahead and switch over to SCM gun mode and see how this thing performs. Now, these Singe cannons are kind of hit and miss, so it reminds me of the newest iteration of the Ion, where you kind of have to charge the gun and then go from there. Not really a fan, so let's see what happens. And we'll just go after the primary target, take him out, and move on out of here for a score on this ship. Let's go ahead and start off with some missiles. Got to start off strong, right? And fire those. Or not starting off strong at all. Those missiles just... Alright, cool. That's fine. Y'all just go wherever you want. I'll attack the target.
Contact.
Okay, we got 3 targets, so let's just go after the main one here.
Attack on shields.
Oh, a little jittery. Oh, it made me lose my concentration on the aim. Oh, come on, don't do that, don't do it. There we go. Keep hitting that target. I wasn't charging both guns. There we go. Taking a lot of shield damage. Okay, 1 target destroyed. Not bad. You really got to be on target, though, because if you're not, it's not going to be any good for you, right? You're going to take a lot of hits and not be dishing out too much. So let's go ahead and move on to this target now. Oof, I missed just barely right there. Oh, come on. Oh, you little maneuver. Ah! Oh, come on. Oh, my goodness.
Attack on shields. Target
Bah,
destroyed.
much better. Jeez. Alright, let's move. Oh, okay, so here we go. What we got here? Woo! That was pretty awesome. Okay, so am I a fan of the Singe weapons? They're pretty cool. If you can hit consistently, you will have no problem, right? Make sure I scan. Oh, I was going to head right for a big rock. See? Always good to scan. So hit consistently, you won't have an issue. It's really fun to fly. I feel like this ship has a lot going for it. And in the future, it could potentially change quite a bit. But so far, it looks awesome. I feel like it flies really great. A little slow, just a bit slow. The DPS of those Singe guns are really good if you're landing shots, but again, it's like the Ion. You have to be, your targets are moving. So you got to be accurate. You missed your shot. Every shot you miss is going to be a problem for you. So always take that into consideration if you want to keep these guns or move on to something that has a lot more, something a little bit more forgiving. Now, what would I give this ship? Honestly, it's got a very high EM rating. Not that big of a deal. Most ships do. It's got a living area with beds, dual cockpit, as well as, 6,000 shield. The health pool is a little worrisome, and I will tell you right now, based off of some experience, the second that you lose one of these arms, you are going to lose control of this ship. I lost one earlier in flight with this thing in a battle, and I ended up crashing into a moon, which you'll see right now. Well, I've seemed to have had a problem. And, yeah. Let's get out of my alien crash site here. And that was not a fun experience. So, you gotta be careful not to lose one of these arms. It could typically take away a lot of your guns, too. When I lost that arm, it took away that gun. It took away the gun underneath as well. And it really killed my ability to maneuver, which was really surprising. But yeah, that is where that's kind of at. So your health pool is a little iffy. You got a great quantum fuel tank. Your speed's kind of slow, honestly. So what would I give this ship out of 10? This ship, honestly, it feels like an 8 out of 10, almost like the Talon. The Talon for different reasons, right? It's stealthy, it's fast, it's a small ship. This ship, bigger, not so fast, but has a lot going for it. So an 8 out of 10 honestly feels great, as it does, you know, the health pool is really the biggest concern there. It's got a low health pool, and it is kind of risky with its wings. So that's my biggest concern. The next thing is just the speed. So honestly, it doesn't take away too much from this ship. It looks beautiful. It flies great. And honestly, when you pull up to a ship meet in this thing, it's just like, oh, look, you brought the crab. And not in a bad way. Don't take that out of context. You just brought one, not anything else. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this ship review here of the BANU Defender, and you all are amazing, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one.